Welcome back to the Brain Rot Report, your crash course in all things pop culture. I'm Grace, a chronically online Gen Zer here to break down the most viral moments in recent pop culture, so you don't have to. If you've ever heard Gen Z or Gen Alpha lingo and felt completely lost, don't worry, I'm here to help. In this episode, I will be breaking down the meaning and the use of the slang used by younger generations today. Before we dive into specific terms, let's first talk about where slang comes from and how it spreads. A lot of what's called TikTok slang or Gen Z slang actually comes from African American Vernacular English or AAVE, a dialect with roots dating back to slavery in the US. Many of these terms are thought to be brand new, when in reality they have been part of AAVE for decades. There are also terms that have emerged from internet culture itself. Slang is constantly evolving and spreading quickly due to the rise of social media, especially in younger generations. So let's get into the terms that are a huge part of Gen Z and Gen Alpha's vocabulary today. I thought I would start off with a term that inspired the title of this series, brain rot. Brain rot describes the negative effects of being perpetually online and consuming large amounts of low-value content. The term slay originated in the Black, Latino, and LGBTQ+ ballroom culture of the 70s and 80s, and it means to do something exceptionally well. You slayed it is the equivalent of you killed it. The term ate similarly describes praise for someone who did a good job, and it is also believed to come from ballroom culture. The use of the word will usually be they ate or they ate and left no crumbs, which means someone did something perfectly with no mistakes. Mother is another word that dates back to the queer ballroom scene. To call someone mother means they're an iconic feminine figure. People usually use this word by saying she is mother or she is mothering. The word tea originated from Black drag culture, and it is used to describe a piece of gossip or information. You may remember the meme spill the tea that was popular around 2018, which means to spill the gossip. Bustin' originated in hip-hop and rap culture, and it is used to describe something that is very good or enjoyable. It will commonly be used to describe a food that is really good. Op is a word that has origins in hip-hop and rap culture. It is short for opponent and is another word for enemy. People usually use it and say that person is my op to express their dislike for someone. Cap is an AAV term that means to lie or exaggerate. If something is an obvious lie, you would call it a cap, or say someone is capping. On the other hand, if you're telling the truth, you would say no cap. Sus is short for suspicious, and it describes someone or something untrustworthy. It has been used since the 1920s, but it gained popularity in the 2020s due to the online game Among Us. Mid is a word to describe something that is average, mediocre, or low quality. It can be used to humorously insult or oppose someone's opinion. Living rent-free means you cannot stop thinking about something. For example, you would say, blank is living rent-free in my head. Coded means something or someone has shared traits with someone or something else. For example, if something reminded you of me, you would say, that is so Grace-coded. Originally defined as reserved, modest, and shy, demure went viral last year when the TikTok creator Jules LeBron used the phrase, very demure, very mindful. It is all about being mindful, cutesy, and not drawing attention to yourself. Ghosting is when someone suddenly stops all communication with another person, usually without explanation. It usually applies to dating, but it can also apply to any type of relationship. Delulu is a term short for delusional, originating from the K-pop fan community in 2014. It is often used on social media to describe someone's false beliefs, usually about a celebrity or their crush. Speaking of celebrities, a stan is a very zealous fan, usually of a celebrity or a music group. For example, I would say I am a big stan of, or I stan, Taylor Swift. Let them cook means to freely let a person do something they are good at, and it is often attributed to the rapper Lil B. It's another way of saying, give them space, they're onto something. Locked in means to be completely focused and committed to a task. For example, I would say, I'm gonna lock in and complete this assignment. W and L are short for win and loss. If something is a significant win or loss, people will say it's a big W or a big L. Riz is short for charisma, and it is used to describe someone who has game. Many use it to say someone has Riz, or they'll call someone the Rizzler, which means they are a charming person. While many of these terms are universal throughout Gen Z and Gen Alpha lingo, there are still some Gen Alpha terms that I myself have a hard time wrapping my head around. Skibidi gained popularity from the YouTube series Skibidi Toilet. The word itself doesn't have one meaning. It can mean weird, good, bad, or it can just be gibberish depending on the context. Sigma is a person who is independent and seen as a lone wolf. If someone calls someone or something Sigma, it usually means it is cool. Ohio is a word to describe something that is strange, weird, or cringeworthy. A lot of these phrases will be combined to mean something else. For example, if you say Skibidi Ohio Riz, apparently that means you have terrible Riz. And I can't believe I just said that word. Phantom tax is the act of stealing food from a friend, and it originates from a streamer called Phantom who would steal food from other content creators during live streams. Mewing is a technique used by Gen Alpha, and it involves pressing your tongue to the roof of your mouth with the goal of improving your jawline and your facial structure, but it has not been proven to work. Aura points describe someone's cool or it factor, and you gain points when you do something cool, and you lose points when you do something uncool. Although this is just a glimpse into Gen Z and Gen Alpha slang, I hope you have a better understanding of what these words mean and how they're used. As slang is constantly changing and emerging, who knows what words will take over our vocabulary next. Thank you for tuning into this episode. This has been the Brain Rot Report with your host, Grace Harper.